Do you ever feel less creative musically than you used to? Maybe caught in a rut? Uninspired? I don't think it's just me, but yeah, it happens, I think, to everybody. So today we're going to talk about recapturing that excitement. We're going to get back to our roots. Maybe we'll introduce a little bit of chaos, whatever it takes. Music is so awesome, it's worth pursuing it with great intensity. I'm Markus, the man from Mars. Thanks for joining me today. Thank you for your comments, likes, and shares. And please, if you haven't subscribed already, I'd absolutely love it if you would. After all, I couldn't and I wouldn't do this without you. So let's get talking. Well, children, gather round. It's story time by the fireside with Uncle Mars. Remember when inspiration was no problem, when progress seemed like it would never end, and every new musical discovery was like an adventure? Yeah, that was a long time ago. Now it's like, I like this music, I like that music, oh, I'd never listen to that. When did the cement become so hard in our musical minds? Well, it's time to get back on the creative track, and we're going to look at 3 different ways that we can do that. Of course, there are many more, but hey, you're always welcome to put your suggestions and ideas in the comments. That's how we build a community and enrich each other. So we're going to talk about learning, listening, and linking. Well, let's begin with listening to music. Remember how exciting it was? Well, let's go on to the man from Mars elsewhere and see what he has to say. The listen one. Well, there was a time when the music that you know now, that you didn't know it. You had to listen to it in the first place. And I'm going to say it's worth getting inspired again by seeking out music that you haven't heard before. A totally different style. You and I were born as blank slates musically, and the first music that we ever listened to, we didn't choose it, someone else did. Sometimes we liked it, sometimes we didn't. Here's a Man from Mars story that might inspire you or consider it a cautionary tale. Well, going by the funky colors, it must be time for a flashback. Okay, let's do it. Another Man from Mars origin story. Well, nearly 40 years ago, I stumbled upon a best of ELP, Emerson, Lake and Palmer album. And frankly, this chaotic, unscheduled, unplanned moment of me listening to music that I'd never heard before changed my life. Maybe that's happened to you too. When I heard those Moog synthesizer sounds at the end of Lucky Man, Keith Emerson blew my mind. I didn't know what they were, but I knew that I'd never heard anything like it and that I had to find out more. And it literally changed my life. I don't think there would be a Man from Mars and a Mars music if I hadn't been inspired, if I hadn't been blown away by the sound of Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Lucky Man, Hoedown, Tiger in a Spotlight, Fanfare for the Common Man, their cover of Peter Gunn. I can replay that album in my head. And I hadn't planned on it. I just thumbed through a bunch of LPs. So maybe you don't have LPs. Maybe you should try going to a local shop like Blue Streak Records and see what you'll find. I mean, I suppose you could always go on YouTube and try looking, but don't let an algorithm suggest things for you. Introduce a little bit of chaos, randomness, and inspiration into your life, and listen to things that you've never heard before, and music might just change your life and inspire you all over again, like it did for the Man from Mars. Well, who doesn't love a good origin story? So yeah, remembering the music that inspired you and how it can change your life, well, why not try to find some new music, right? So this is the way to do it. So I'm so excited, and I'd love it if in the thread, maybe people share some of the music, please, that has inspired you and brought you to where you are today. Maybe it'll help inspire someone else. The next story from Uncle Mars by the fireside, we're going to have learning. Remember early on when you learned music? Progress came so quickly because you didn't know that much, and it was easy to keep on going, and every discovery was a thrill. And then we begin to wear these well-worn paths, and all of a sudden we're playing the same chords in the same songs, in the same way, at the same speed, at the same rhythm. Where did our creativity go? There used to be a time where you didn't know any chords or melodies, and then suddenly we get into familiar patterns. But it used to be so thrilling when we didn't know the patterns, and there was a journey of discovery. What's my suggestion? Well, learn something new. And it doesn't even have to be related to the confines of your own instrument. Maybe if you've never done vocals, learn some vocal warm-ups. Maybe you've always wanted to try the harmonica. Yeah, so try a harmonica. Maybe there's a different style. Maybe you want to play jazz chords. Maybe you only play jazz and you're like, blues, can I do that? Get down with some good old-fashioned country, ragtime. Maybe you've never made techno. Just learn something new about music. Sometimes we need to go down rabbit holes. Sometimes we need to follow tangents just to kind of reset and refresh ourselves. What do you think? Have you got a story to share about something new that you learned? Maybe you just randomly picked up a penny whistle, or you challenged yourself to record a whole song on your phone using a kazoo. Off the wall out there, that can be just what the doctor ordered, or in this case, your uncle from Mars. And finally, what about link? What does that mean? Well, it's the most awkward of the three. I think listen and learn makes sense, but link, I thought of link up. Well, I wanted to use the word collaborate, but LLC didn't have the alliteration I was looking for. Yeah, link up with some other musicians. And sometimes that creative energy and that chaos and that inspiration can come, whether it's just a conversation, maybe getting together to write a song, swap instruments, anything. It can even be virtual. Take advantage of the technology that we have, but above all, the key is making personal connections. The energy that comes from collaborating, from linking up, from sharing stories to inspiring each other, that's another way to break through this kind of stagnant kind of mentality that can enter into our music making endeavors. Again, music is exciting, and what we want to do is to recapture that spark, that thrill, that fire, so we can just feel like, man, this is the greatest hobby, this is the greatest passion, this is one of the greatest things that I can do, and by sharing it with others, it's contagious. So what do you think? I know it's a busy time of year, and I wanted to make an accessible video, but this isn't meant to be the be-all and end-all. I don't have all the answers, but I love having the conversation. I love chatting with you guys when you drop into the store. I love getting comments. I love getting emails. So please, keep the fire going. Let's keep things exciting. Let's share with each other, and the stories and the songs that inspire us. Just because I don't like the music that you like, that doesn't mean that I don't like how you like that music. I'm Markus, the man from Mars. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been really fun. I thank you again for everybody for watching and for commenting. I appreciate all the likes. And thanks so much also for subscribing to this channel. After all, I couldn't and I wouldn't do it without you. And I'm looking so forward to the next time already. I'm Markus, the man from Mars. Have a wonderful night.